And we're joined today by Hugo Perez and Billy Wall from Alexander City, and they're involved with the Disabled Veterans of America, and they're here to talk about the 12th annual Bill Nichols State Veterans Home Car and Motorcycle Show. But let's introduce these guys first. And Billy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm, I guess, a lifelong resident of Alex City. I was born in Montgomery. I was an Air Force brat, but my dad passed away, so I've been in Alex City all my life. I married a girl from, she's from Hackneyville, and her name is Rita. We've got 3 kids and 5 grandkids, and I'm retired from the Tallapoosa County Revenue Commissioner's Office, and retired from the Alabama National Guard.
Okay. How long did you serve in the National Guard?
About 29 years.
Okay. Hugo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Hugo Perez. I'm originally from California. My wife is from Alexander City. She's Anita Perez. We got here in Alabama. Her family is originally from here, so we decided to come home. I served 21 years in the United States Army, active duty. I spent a couple of times, once in Iraq and once all over the world, middle of nowhere. We have a total of 7 kids. We have basically in 6 different states. One of our son, the youngest son of her, Anita, he's stationed in Hawaii, just got there.
So it's a military family?
Yeah, it's basically a military family, very supportive, all of us from both sides of it.
Fantastic. Well, let's talk about the 12th annual Bill Nichols State Veterans Home Car and Motorcycle Show that's coming up later this month, October the 28th. And how long have you guys been involved in this?
I've been in, I was on the city council. I was in the DAV for about 2 years, but I was on the city council, and they met when I had a council meeting. So it was 2 years that I was in there, and I didn't even get to attend. I think I attended 1 meeting. But I've been, I think it's about 4 years of, on the DAV.
Hugo, what about this event's coming up later on this month? Talk about that.
Well, every year, like I said, for the last 11 years, we've been doing this car show, and we do it basically for the veterans of the home. And it's really interesting to see, we have cadets from the ROTC, or the high school there, and they bring their cadets, and they have the cadets escort the veterans there. And it's good to see the old veterans being pushed around by the young future leaders, especially when they talk and they talk about different stories of the war or the way they spent in Germany. We had a gentleman from World War II, and he talked about Pearl Harbor, and it really inspired the kids, you know, and I hope that brings more unity into the city, especially the youth of the city, to see that there's a history there, especially in Alex City. A lot of veterans are there. And it's really neat to see those two together, those 2 groups together. And thanks to this car show, we get to see that, especially when you see the young cadets escorting these guys out, and they start talking about the different vehicles that they see. And now Billy Ray has the opportunity to talk to the military group, the military vehicle group, and hopefully they'll be out there, and that'd be a different realm for these veterans to finally see.
Billy, let me drop this in here. Are you guys concerned, both being veterans, are you concerned that our future, with our younger generation, you talk about the cadets, you think we're in pretty good hands?
I think so. I think we're in pretty good hands. Of course, now we lose a lot of experience from older veterans when they retire. You know, they've got those years of experience, and a lot of the experience will be what some of these younger ones won't experience. But I think all in all, we're in good hands, and with the veterans, with the military and all, and I better not say nothing about our president, because it's positive. So
talk just a little bit, Hugo, about Bill Nichols State Veterans Home.
Well, me being one of the junior people there that has joined there for 2 years, actively working with the Bill Nichols Home, I understand it started as a very humble home, and now if you go out there and see it, it's like a beautiful area to stay there. And we visited a couple of the veterans there. They have a, what do we call it, gaming, what do you call that?
game room.
It's like a game room, family room, get-together room, and that's where the veterans play their bingo and they talk to each other and stuff like that. And just to go in there and talk to them and see them, it's just a really good experience as me being a veteran and seeing that. It's really good. It's somewhere that if I ever get that old, I would love to be there because I like where it comes from. I like the camaraderie they have there.
And Billy, it's probably therapeutic for the residents there to get together, not just among themselves, but with friends and family who come to see about them.
It sure is. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 guys I graduated high school with that are out there. And I see them occasionally, but they come out and they view these cars. They've got some from the, around 66, 65, 66. And it just kind of takes them back, I think, to that time, that those kind of, I guess you'd call them innocent times, And I think the cars are really a good draw, and they bring a lot of memories back to a lot of different veterans.
Yeah. Well, tell us what's going to be happening that day.
Well, we're going to be setting up at the home, and we're going to have food there for sale. And we're also going to have a DJ playing music, and we have a gospel group that sings there too also. It's going to be open to the public. You're welcome to come and enjoy the festivities. If you have a nice classic car, please bring it around. We like to see it, show it off. And the entrance fee for a vehicle is like $15, but it's all worth it. It goes towards the home anyway.
And Billy, it's nice to recognize and show honor to veterans who have, paid the price that we can have freedoms like we have in America today.
It sure is. I tell this every once in a while. I did some Hurricane Katrina relief, and I was E7 in charge of a group of guys, and we were doing water and ice and occasionally some food distribution. And so we hadn't had a soft drink in about a week or 2, so some of them was kind of going into the DTs. So this E6 said they'd been down there for a while. He and I got in a vehicle and we rode around and we found a grocery store that had a drink box outside, and they said we could just help ourselves. So I was getting drinks for the soldiers, my men, and this lady and her husband and 2 grandkids walked out the store, and she seen me, and but she started walking, and I thought she was just walking to the box to get her grandkids a drink. So I backed up about 4 or 5 feet past the box. She just walked by that box, threw both arms around my neck, and said, "I am so glad y'all are here."
Yeah.
And I mean, even if you don't get to serve overseas, any local stuff makes it well worth being a member of the military.
Yeah. Hugo, we've all heard stories about our country's time in Iraq and the rebuilding of Iraq, the toppling of Saddam Hussein, and we see video of little kids and stuff like that. How did that affect your life?
Coming from a military family, my grandfather was one of the original real cavalry where they actually rode horses. It was my great-grandfather did that. Yes, I have a picture of him with his horse. Every time we go into a country, I've been in Haiti, I've been in Panama, we're talking on the way here, been in Central America, been in Africa. To see young kids and just looking at you and the way they look up and say hi, and those eyes, even if they don't know the language, that smile that a kid gives you, and just by them looking at you and hugging your leg, knowing you're doing something good in that country, even here in the U.S. We went, when I was stationed in Fort Bragg, we went to Virgin Islands for a hurricane that destroyed St. Thomas and St. John. We set up the hospital there, and me going to another island at St. John to see if they needed any help, just the people coming up, the kids coming up and hugging you. Like I said, you don't have to go overseas, even in our own states. That little thank you, even if they don't say thank you, you can tell. They hug you, and they shake your hand, and they say bye to you, and they walk away. That just breaks your heart. It's kind of like, this is why I do it.
Wow. We're talking with Hugo Perez and Billy Wall from Disabled Veterans of America, and they're involved with the 12th Annual Bill Nichols State Veterans Home Car and Motorcycle Show. Billy, can people still enter their cars now?
Should. The day of the contest, the day of the car show, you can bring your car in and enter it. So if you got a good classic car that you want to show off, we'd love to have you down there.
Or a motorcycle.
Or a motorcycle.
Don't discriminate.
Yes, yes, motorcycle. So if you got one, please bring it. Show it off. Be proud of it.
Is this, I know it's the 12th year for this, has it grown every year?
Yes.
Yes. I think 2 years ago, because of the weather, it was kind of a small. But every single year that we've done it, it's grown a little bit better. Now, this year, we're not doing it on Veterans Day. If you can tell, it's October 28th. Right. Well, that day, there's no football game on TV. There's no Santuck. There's nothing going on. So there's basically, it's just going to be the Bill Nichols car show. I know the week before is a car show and the week after is a car show. But after that, this is the only thing happening. There's other things happening, but if you want to bring your car that day, this would be a perfect day to come out.
That's fantastic. Have plenty of food available to purchase, and door prize, and a money tree. I'm into that money tree. What's that about?
What happens is we have it looks like a Christmas tree, and people that enter, that come to participate at the vehicles that they bring in, they get a ticket, and also they get a dash plaque. And at the end, they draw these numbers out, and they come up and they grab an envelope. It can be anywhere between $25, $50, or $100.
Okay. October 28th, 9 until 2, and that's on Elkahatchee Road in Alexander City at the Bill Nichols State Veterans Home. Billy, before we go this morning, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of protest, a lot of issues surrounding the American flag and the Pledge of Allegiance. What's your personal thoughts on that?
Well, I think they picked the wrong time to do the protests. When the American flag is shown and the national anthem is played, you should stand up. I don't like it. I can't remember which, it was a Veterans Club or something the other night. They were showing on TV that they don't even watch football anymore because of that. And I think we all ought to get together and just, because I personally think that when the flag is displayed and the national anthem's played, you ought to show honor to it. You can show your protests some other way, but I think it's disrespectful to the country. It's just like, I don't really care about America. And I think that's one of the worst things you can do. I mean, it's bad on our younger people to set that example, because these athletes that do this, there's a world of young people that look up to them, that admire them, and all. And I think that they should set the example. They should stand. They should put their hand over the heart and show honor to the flag and the national anthem.
Hugo?
Echoing what he said, talking about young kids, seeing that, I saw something the other day about, it happened in Arlington, and they were playing taps. Of course, taps, you know what taps is about. And there was this group of young kids that took a knee during taps. That's also, to me, disrespectful, because you're honoring somebody who passed away, their commitment to this country. And to take a knee like that, it's very disrespectful, especially to me, being a soldier. There's a time and a place for that.
Okay. Hugo Perez and Billy Wall, our guests this morning. The 12th Annual Bill Nichols State Veterans Home Car and Motorcycle Show takes place on October 28th from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Bill Nichols State Veterans Home in Alexander City at 1784 Elkahatchee Road. And it's hosted by the Bill Nichols Chapter 13, an auxiliary unit of the DAV. Gentlemen, thank you both for coming by this morning.
Thanks for having us.
What is it, $15 to put a car in the show? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how can they find out more information about it?
There's a Facebook page.
Okay.
You'll see these little folders around everywhere. There's little pamphlets. There's a Bill Nichols Estate Home and Car Show Facebook page also. You can see it in there. Or just call the DAV, and we'll be more than happy to give you some information.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you both for coming this morning.
Okay, one
Thanks for
thing,
having us.
directions, the little triangle building on 280, Old Russell Retail.
Right?
Turn right beside it to the right, and you go down there, you can't miss it.
Everybody knows where that is.
Next to the Sportsplex.
And I hope to see a lot of you there as well. And thanks to Hugo and Billy, and we salute them in their service to America. We've got more Daybreak just ahead.
Y'all come on out.